from exploring and seeing the vast oceans on our planet. And now I'm into probably the greatest and most strenuous journey that I've ever undertaken. Partnering with my blind friend Chris and building a house. We've got a guy who's busy leading this build who can't tell a straight line from a skew line. This can't be a recipe for success, or can it?
So Riaan's taking on the role of foreman. Basically, he's going to be my eyes. I just want to get stuck in and prove that a blind man can do anything that a sighted person is able to.
I guess when we named this building Blind, we wanted to be honest about what we were going to do. But when you say it over and over, it gets scarier and scarier. We are going to be building blind. Proudly brought to you by Everite, home of Nutec, building solutions that you can trust. Okay, sit. I'll say. Ja, wat? Yes, Tata, kom. Sit vast. No, this day is, I think, pretty normal, and people with a little duet of boys 5 and 2 know exactly what that morning's about. But it's fun, it's great. It's just the mornings start super early and then they never ever slow down. Yeah, one thing, it definitely does bother me. Why am I not at the site as much as I should be? Quite honestly, I sometimes think that things aren't as important, you know, like we've had some disappointments where things are supposed to be there, supposed to happen, and then it's rain or it's some late delivery and then it doesn't happen. And then I can't do the things that are pressurizing me from the other elements in my business. So, sure, I'm traveling a lot. I'm trying to pay the bills. I've got a lot of events that I have to attend. I have to still play father, dropping kids off and picking them up from school. I have to do a lot of stuff, which I think a lot of people are surprised by. I'm a busy guy, you know, but people always think I'm just lying at home, going for a mountain bike, going for a surf or for a paddle, and that's actually not the truth. What's bothering me currently is just making sure that we run Matrix in Antarctica, the project where we take those students every single year to Antarctica successfully. It's our 3rd year. Imagine that, you know, these programs don't normally run for a 2nd year, you know, for programs that have tried to do it globally. So sometimes I can like marry like the work that I have to do with taking my family to places. And Hermanus Tourism has this very, very famous whale festival every single year. And they started all off with the welcome whales, you know, when the whales start arriving. And it's like literally whales in their hundreds. I was invited to speak there as a guest for this opening of this Welcome Whales Festival, and also just to do a launch for our children's book. I think the morning's activity, being invited by the guys from the paddling company, was a treat because I could take James with. Eventually, James didn't land up going with me because he said the waves were a bit too big. But it was still special having him part of that morning. And then also just Fusty and Samuel there for the breakfast. It's good to be able to do a few things like that where I can include my family, because normally it's going away. You know, while I'm sitting over here now, I know that I've got something tomorrow night, the Friday, then I've got something on Monday, and then Wednesday next week, and I know that my family's not involved in that, and I've got all the other work in between. So taking them with when I can is worthwhile.
Forever.
Forever? That's your father, so it's technically yours forever, I guess.
Yes.
It's a video of Jock.
Both of us are taking videos of you. Both of us.
The camera. James, you're a good photographer, I must say, hey?
Yes, my friend Neil Buckland owns NB Cycles. He's a bicycle fanatic, enthusiast, collector, and all of the above. And I did the Cape Town cycle tour with him in 2020, and he's got me into cycling for the first time since childhood. So him and his wife Tracy came and spent the weekend because Tracy's birthday happens to fall on the same day as Tamlin's. Happy birthday!
Yeah, you sound great.
Oh, this is so cool.
Did you ride your bicycle in?
So I get a bicycle.
It's got no gears, so so you don't have to worry about changing. It's just, well, there's no brakes either. I organized together with Neil to get her a bicycle. So she's now able to charge around Fisher Haven and cycle, which she also hasn't done for many years.
Take a backpack with the bottles and the glasses and then we can walk from here. And Mrs. made us the most amazing cake.
On that day, I made her favorite cake, which was chocolate and orange. So I did it with a nice chocolate mousse and fresh cream layering, nice candied orange peel dipped in dark chocolate, and I whipped up the cream and I used Ecuadorian chocolate and coffee in the cake to blast the flavors. That was a bit of a show-off cake. So happy wife, happy life. Before we went over to have lunch, when they arrived, we went to the land and cracked a bottle of bubbly, actually 2 bottles of bubbly, and drank it out of little plastic champagne glasses and walked them all over the foundations. And then Tracy had this fantastic idea that we should bury one of those empty bottles right underneath the foundations where the bar is going to be. So we'll always remember that for their birthday, we celebrated there and buried the bottle under the foundation.
I'll be there.
The first bottle of wine, or Method Cup Classic. We are burying the odd bins from Checkers.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's always nice to have the nod of approval from my friends when they come out here, whether it's Neil, Mike, or whoever, and they say things to me like Neil did. He said, Chris, he kind of pulled me aside and said, Chris, you've got a little piece of paradise here. You're going to have a beautiful home, and this is absolutely the right decision that you've made. It's kind of the little nod of approval, a reassurance, and makes me feel good about our move, even though it feels at times so scary. I do love it very much, and I'm very excited, and I feel a sense of pride in what I'm doing. I know that this is going to be so good for our family, for our relationship, for our livelihood, for everything. Everything I do for them.